Hi, this is the part we're going to work on in this video. We did this part in class and I just want to redo it here. So I'm going to select on the center line. I already have a part open. So I'll make it horizontal and infinite length. So select the origin and I can hit the escape key. I'm going to go back and utilize the center line and put in a V shape, and then I can put in the two angles that make this at 30 degrees. I'm then going to utilize the Offset Entities tool, set the distance to being 0.3, and offset these two. And I want to make sure that the construction geometry is the offset geometry. So this will create new geometry but make them construction lines. So now once I have this established, I can go ahead and make these four arcs. The first one at 1.58 and then the other three with the dimensions given over here. Got to make sure that I utilize this as my center point. So I'm going to utilize the center point arc, selecting this as the center point, selecting out here to there. I'm still in the center point tool, so again selecting this center point. Select the next curve, again selecting the center point, making the third curve. Now you see what happens here. So you come in close until you see that slight switch in the line, and that allows you to bring the arc out. And the last one, selecting my center point, selecting here, waiting till I get the switch, and going out to that point. And so this is 1.58. This is 1.88. This is 2.7. And this is 3. I'm going to come in here and just move my dimensions around a little bit so that they're kind of easier to make out. And I can also come in here and take my endpoints and just drag them into where they're essentially going to be right now of these two. Not really necessary, but it kind of makes it a little bit neater for the drawing itself, or the sketch rather. Alright, so now to finish this up, I'll just put in a number of lines, 4 of them to be exact. So left click, hold, drag, and let go. Left click, drag, and drop. Left click, drag, drop. Left click, drag, and drop. So the next entity that we want to put in is this back edge, because it is also being measured from the center point. So I am going to make utilize of a midpoint line. I'll set it to be vertical, select the line, and drag out. Right click to bring up my dimension, select from the endpoint to the center line, putting in the distance of 0.45. Set the distance from the center as being 1.5. And I can finish off the shape of the handle by selecting my line tool. Now I know this line has to be horizontal, so sometimes it's easier to click on that line and now left click and drag until I come over to the arc. I'll do the same thing here. And you'll notice that because I'd selected horizontal, I'm still in the tool, so the horizontal constraint still stays active. Now I use my circle tool to drop one here and another circle here. I can hold my control key to make these circles equal to each other. The circles have a diameter of 0.6, and they are now dimensioned from the back of the part, so from here to the circle. Notice I just need to grab the outer edge of the circle. That is 0.6. This dimension here should be 1.12. And this dimension here, from the back to this circle, is my 1.5 dimension. All right, so with that done, I have a fully defined sketch. You don't see any blue here. You can't see that it says fully defined because I have my image down here. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my Features tab, do an Extruded Boss. I think in class I made this extrusion depth to be 0.35. So I'm going to come in here and select my contours, that, and this one. That's all I need. So you'll notice that I didn't add the fillets when I made the sketch. It's much easier to put them in as a non-sketched feature. So the first one that we'll put in are the 4 that have a radius of 0.3. So I'll select my fillet tool, change the distance, or the fillet parameter rather, to 0.3, and I'll just come in here, and what I'm doing is holding down my middle mouse button and making use of the zoom to select all my edges. If you don't see the fillets showing up here, that would mean that you do not have the full preview turned on. And the other thing I mentioned is make sure that you're not grabbing a face, that you're grabbing an edge. If you should by accident grab the face, you can always come over. Notice the face can't do 0.3 fillet, so everything kind of goes away. And I can just right click here, delete that face, and come back and choose the edge that's correct. So those are those 4 fillets. The next set of fillets, there's 4 by a radius of 0.15 for these inner 4, but there's also 2 for these 2 outer edges. So we can put all those in a single fillet. So change the fillet parameter to 0.15. Come in here, again, just doing a lot of zooming and rotating to make sure I grab my edges. And these last 2. Okay, so those are 6 fillets that we're putting in. Say OK. And now the last 2 that we need to put in are on the other end of the handle, and those are 2 at a radius of 0.22. So we'll go back to the fillet tool, again set the fillet parameter, in this case to 0.22. I'll select this fillet, or this edge rather, and that edge, and we'll say OK. So let's put it into a, hit Control 1. And I'll zoom out and use my Control key to pan it over a little bit, and you can compare your drawing or your part to the part drawing. Let's put some material on this. So I can right click on the material, and here are my favorites. So I can say just make this one out of brass. So let's come in here and check out what the Evaluate tab says. So for the mass properties, if I make it out of brass, the mass is 0.44 pounds, or what you might be looking for to be exact is the volume is 1.43 cubic inches and the surface area is 16.23 square inches. All right, so I hope you like this very, very fast redo of this part.